Hey, what it do, baby? So today, JK, I'm not gonna open up our videos like that. Welcome back to Universe X. We are about to jump into the finale of the Shifts in Power series, ending our cycle with black. One of the most debatable, kind of colors on when it comes to where it landed after the ban list and with the inclusion of Ultimate Squad. And I'm really excited to get into it. But before we do, got to give a couple quick shout outs because like I promised before, if you subscribe to this channel and join the UniX fam, I'm going to let it be known and kind of put you out there. So, like I promised, I just want to give a special thank you to Salvador Hernandez, Chaos Fire PSN, we got Kaiju VGC, we got Dong Nguyen Ha, sorry if I butchered that, but I'm trying, we got Matthew Rea, we got Zabisto, Amaru Marino, and last but not least, most certainly not least, Alejandro Perez. Really cool player, met him at Nats, talked to him every now and then online. He has a presence on the Dragon Ball Super card game community, and yeah. Thank all of you guys for joining the UniX family. I am happy to have you here, and we're gonna keep doing bigger and better things. Next, I want to talk about this beautiful piece of art, the one right here. Yes, that one. Head out of the way. That one. This one right here. Yeah, look at that. Gohan powering up. Kind of looks like, you're looking at like World Tournament Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, especially with those sunshades. Yeah, the art is hot, is it not? It's pretty sick, isn't it? And because of another piece of Gohan related art on my backdrop, I have to give a shout out to two people. One, the amazingly lovely woman who got it commissioned for my birthday. Thank you. Thank you. And second, the artist himself. Actually, if you have an Instagram, you like checking out this sort of stuff, just go down to the description and check out the link. His name is Otaku Terrance. It's down there. He makes a whole lot of anime art, just branching all over the place. Lots of work just like this above, does work on parchment, a lot of cool stuff. And if you go to his channel and you like some of the stuff, just comment that UniX DBS brought you here, so he knows exactly where that traffic coming from. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So let's actually get into the real stuff that we came here for, which would be the breakdown. The last little bit of shout out we're gonna get out of the way is just the official Facebook group if you haven't been there already, followed by the unofficial discussion group on Facebook, followed by the unofficial Reddit, and then followed by the brand new revamped Discord for Universe X. There is a place for everybody to be now. There are different roles that you can assign so you can filter out what you're looking at, and yeah, it's a better place right now, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. So really, if you want to be a part of the talk, that can include Dragon Ball Super the card game, One Piece the card game, Digimon the card game, this could be MTG Arena, Master Duel, this could be Legends of Runeterra, this could be Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Legends, anything, anime, manga, it's all there. And so yeah, just go in the description, join that, select your roles, and start having fun in Universe X. Even more so than you are watching this video. Now we are here. We're gonna start off the, sorry that was a lot, but I'm trying to still get the rhythm down. We're gonna start off this video talking about what Black lost. Black got 3 hits, actually 4 technical hits, 4 hits, even though I put up 5 fingers. 4 if you don't count thumbs, I guess. 1. 3 cards were banned from Black, okay? One of them was completely archetype specific, that being, Martial Melee. It was definitely Marvelous Might, but we're just gonna keep going. Now, I mentioned before that Martial Melee was kind of a severe hit. I thought that maybe you could limit its summoning effect or its ability to burst into 2 1-drops, but they just decided to ban the thing, severely putting a kind of kibosh on the ability to spam out that attacker followed by 2 1-drops. But the thing they also did was they limited thwarting, which was one of Black's cornerstones in terms of removal as well as offensive power. That's going to be a crazy hit for the deck. Next, when you move into the parts that it also lost, now some of these are kind of generic hits for the entire game, but Black was the color that was able to abuse them the most freely, and that is Secret Identity Mass Sand, which provides removal, which isn't exactly as detrimental to Black as a whole, because Black has a whole lot of warping and removal. That's just what Black does. But fighting against Fate, being a card that was just the top end of your aggression, a free 6 card from drop, double attacking, like, you know, dual attacking 25k, that was a huge hit, especially since it's a black sand overrealm. This is right up Black's alley. You can recycle it, you can swing on it, you can swing with it. There's a lot of things you can do here. Huge, huge, huge hit. So we're looking at that. Martial melee ban on Secret Identity Mass Sand, ban on Fighting Against Fate, and thwarting was limited. And what this basically did is martial melee, thwarting, and Fighting Against Fate happening the way they did puts Gogeta Zeno into a really precarious place, because now it cannot rely on its fusion pieces to aggro the way it did. Martial melee was an integral part. Thwarting was a very much so integral part. Turn one double strike with the removal on top of it, and that was a very powerful effect. Now, we're not going to talk about how Secret Identity Mass Sand and Fighting Against Fate affected other colors. We're going to go directly into black. So essentially what black lost here was a chunk of fast, easy offense. Not really removal, they'll still have removal. And now what we're looking at is the paradigm shifting. We are looking at a space where lots of people are afraid to play black. But I'm here to tell you that black still has legs on any given day. Why? Because black still can recycle some of the cards that were taken from it. If you're playing a generically black leader, like Super Saiyan God Trunks, or Vegex, or even still Gogeta Zeno, the fact of the matter is you're still running that one thwarting. You're still running the Gokus and Vegetas needed to play thwarting. You're still probably running Gogeta Fearless Fusion if you were playing a deck like Dark Broly, if you're playing a deck like Gogeta Zeno that are sand only. And the best part about playing Gogeta Zenos is that you're playing Goku Zenos. And the best part of playing Goku Zeno is that you have access to SS4 Goku beyond all limits. 6 cost overrealm that is going to bring back any thwartings that may be removed, whether you warp it from your leader effect with Gogeta Zeno, whether you warp it from your grave with Dark Broly, whether you warp it from your grave with Vegex, you'll be able to bring it back with Beyond All Limits. And the beautiful part about that is if you remove 6 for Beyond All Limits, including thwarting, you might be removing the Vegeta and the Goku needed to play that thwarting in the same turn. Powerful combo. 6 cards in grave, you got the equal Vegeta and Goku, remove all 6 of them, get your thwarting back, tap on energy, play the thwarting, put 2 back in your grave. Really, really good flow. So any deck that was still trying to play thwarting is just now naturally going to play 4 Beyond All Limits if you weren't already. And this opens up a lot of different plays. Black just isn't going to be as consistently explosive, still can work. So we're going to talk about the decks that can still put in some work now that we're moving into this next format. So first and foremost, we are going to talk about some of the old people that can still be doing work now. There are 2 proprietors that are going to come immediately to mind. And the first one is, man, I'm still getting used to having long hair. It is just, I need a headband or something. There we go. So, we are now going to look at the 2 ones. Yeah, so you're looking at Super Saiyan God Trunks, which is still a very good generic black leader. He only has to remove cards. He can remove, cards to just, draw. And he can do that independent of swinging on his front side. And you're still working with black sands. So essentially, he's really good at what he does. He can remove cards to help you dig for thwarting, to help you dig for your good pieces, and he can still play that overall black game. Plus, with a black unison on board, he has access to removal via his awaken side. He also can awaken at full life if your opponent doesn't pressure you enough. So Trunks is still a very, very, very valid thing here. Filter, built-in removal, and the ability to work with black sand synergistically. An untapped draw 1 leader, but can be very defensive, and best of all, he still protects his unison. So anytime you get a good black unison, Trunks can start blocking for it. And this brings him in a very, 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 very powerful place as a contending black leader. This may actually be Super Saiyan God Trunks' time to shine, where before he was being overshadowed by Gogeta Zeno, and in some cases even Dark Broly. Speaking of Dark Broly though, we are actually at a point where Dark Broly is still doing well. Dark Broly didn't lose too much from this list. Yes, you lost the ability to play maximum copies of thwarting, but you can still play 1 thwarting. You can still play 2, 3 fearless fusions, but most of all, you can play 3 Beyond All Limits Gokus, and they're 30k black bodies, so you are able to play them synergistically with the leader. This puts Dark Broly in a position where it can still ball. Dark Broly still has legs, even if lots of people don't want to acknowledge it. But now, with Gogeta Zeno being taken down as one of the de facto black decks, and its speed and pure pressure, Dark Broly has the ability to stand up and become a menacing, and especially in a format where it might have another turn or two to breed. Just gotta manage your energy well enough, and Dark Broly can still be a very plausible threat. 30k bodies are 30k bodies. A 30k body that's not free means that you can't pair it up as easily with things like Chomp without leaving yourself wide open, but it's still a very, very good strategy to be throwing 30k bodies at somebody. Like, you either negate it or you discard mad cards or you just take damage, and that's been Dark Broly's philosophy for quite some time. It can still use thwarting. Fearless Fusion is a plus because it's a Saiyan only leader. You have access to Super Saiyan God Trunks like every black deck does. Can't forget, Super Saiyan God Trunks is a very good card. And in Dark Broly, once you play it once, if they can't get rid of it, then you're just making more Dark Broly bodies every single turn because of its put three back effect. Like, think about the math. It may be a little awkward to fit Super Saiyan God Trunks in Broly, but now there might be more room because you're down on thwartings and you're down on fighting against fates. And if you think about it that way, every turn that Trunks is able to swing twice, between your leader effect and Trunks, you're putting 9 cards back in. That's great economy. That is great economy. Move over Gravian Demigra's Thrall. You now have a slinger that adds on pressure and refund stuff. I think it's good. Next, we're going to talk about the new. You were looking at Towa. And Towa from this new set is very, very, very interesting. A lot of people looked at the tokens and went, so you're gonna need Mass Yank and clear it, it's tokens. But what a lot of people don't understand is that Towa is a snowball deck. And I think if you've been practicing with it, you should know this. So the first things I'm gonna say is shout outs to Eric for topping with Towa in Texas. And I have to give it to my friend Amani for testing it. Like, Amani and I were looking at it. You guys, if you are fans of the channel, you know that I showed you guys a breakdown. I was kind of going through some of the plays, but you can always look at that breakdown if you haven't seen it already. Shameless plug on myself. So Towa is the kind of deck where, especially with Mass Sans to get Identity gone, every deck does not have a way just to look at the tokens and just blow them off the board. And if you let this deck snowball, you're going to be looking at a deck that can apply combo pressure whenever it pleases, both offensively and defensively. And if they have a Poutine on the board and they keep making all these tokens, they're drawing 2 extra cards per round turn. One on their turn to untap Poutine, another one on your turn to untap Poutine. If you let them snowball too hard and they get 2 Poutines on the board, you're gonna start looking at a very, very rough time, because until you remove those Poutines, they will draw 4 additional cards. You think about it, these decks you'll draw 1 for turn. You'll swing with your leader, you'll draw another one, make a token. You can eat a token to draw another card off of your Unison and make 2 more tokens. Sorry, remove something, draw a card. You can discard a card to make 2 tokens. And then, Poutine can eat 2 tokens and you're going to draw, 1 and 2. And those 2 tokens you made by drawing a card. So that's crazy that you're drawing those cards alone on your turn. But then on your opponent's turn, you can then eat another token and another token for 2 more draws. Let me just reiterate: 1 for turn, 1 for leader swing, 1 for your +1 on your Unison, 1 for a Poutine, 1 for a Poutine. Oops, that's even more. And then on your next turn, your opponent's turn, 1 for Poutine, 1 for Poutine. Altogether, you're looking at quite a formidable draw engine. And you can't let the deck amass this tempo or you will be buried. You got the Demigra that you discard from hand, and that Demigra is going to allow you to play out a Gravy and a Poutine. That's going to help you. You only get the token off the Poutine, but you'll cheat it out from the deck without needing to pay that energy for it. Well, without paying all the energy. You'll be able to cheat 2 things on board and Self-Awaken. Once Poutine starts on this hill, it's very hard to back them back up it or stop the momentum. So you have to cut it off. You have to nip in the bud. You have to manage these tokens. They can't ever get one on you that strong. Bashing down their life is important, because if they can start using life to play their Demigras, then Demigra's gonna also body you on the board. So yeah, there's a couple things about this deck, but you have to understand that you should not just relegate it off to meme token deck, because you will get buried by its advantage very fast if you don't respect it. Now, moving on to decks that most people may not have suspected. Gogeta Zeno is still real. You cannot sleep on Gogeta Zeno. So, Gogeta Zeno is missing Fighting Against Fate. Truth. They're missing Secret Enemy Mass Sand from her removal. Truth. They're down to 1 thwarting, but we've already discussed how 1 thwarting is just a less consistent but still very recyclable thwarting. True. Now, the Martial Melee does hurt, but now they can actually start running some of the other Gogeta fusions. They still have Fearless fusion. They can run into, now that they don't have Marvelous Might, I think there's another Martial Melee. They can still cheat out Martial Melee, as you saw with that Gogeta's list that topped. If you haven't seen it yet, Crossworld TCG has the profile up, but now you can put in Martial Melee out from the Pycon leader and have him do his thing. But the one drops are also very, very real, and the deck still has access to things like Super Saiyan God Trunks. So you should not count the deck out. It's still putting top 5 out there. That's going to fuel Super Saiyan God Trunks very well. That's going to find that thwarting. That's going to set up for fusion plays. Those fusion plays plus comboing and whatnot are going to set up for overall plays. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you know, beyond all limits, are going to be able to pop off and bring the thwarting back. The deck is still live. It's just not turn 2, turn 3 as explosive consistently. Don't get me wrong, it still can go off, but it is not as consistent. If they just open the thwarting in the Super Saiyan God Trunks, I'm sorry, the deck is still getting your cheeks the exact way it was getting your cheeks before, but it's gonna happen a lot less often now. And if they blow it, they can't just draw another thwarting or a Super Saiyan 4 Goku. They have to see another Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and that may not be just like that. So the deck is still there. You're just gonna have to worry about it being as consistent. They might falter a little bit, they might stumble a little bit, and sometimes that 1 to 2 turns may be all you need to stabilize and get up in their cheeks and turn. So yeah, don't count it out, but it's still there. Last but not least, actually no, I'm gonna say there's 2 ones left, right? You can't count out Vegex. You can't count out Vegex. Vegex is, again, Vegex just won't die. Vegex will always be in a realm of possibility because it's just a generically good black leader. It's got free plays from the grave if you still wish to play them, and it's also got more things between Majin Buu's Human Extermination or Human Annihilation and Realm of the Gods. You have multiple ways to put cards in the graveyards outside the leader to speed up that acceleration. You've also got the ability to be a Sand leader, Black Sand leader. Can't use Fearless Fusion because it's Sand and Human because, you know, the Trunk side, but you're still able to do quite a lot, so you can't count it out. Very, very strong and never quite decks out. Now, the next part though is unfortunate, but it's still here. That is Hatch. Hatch is in a position where, once again, it is doing its thing. Hatch is also going to be able to stun the format still. It's still got a great leader effect for slowing down the game. Plenty of negates. Black's defense only gets better and better. It has blocker negate now. It's a force. Now, unfortunately, Hatch is in a position where it can be preyed on a little bit more. Super Saiyan Goku is a deck in the format that can be played very well, and Cooler is not only a deck that I think is slightly better than that, but Cooler is more popular. So with a bunch of decks that just go Unison Burr, it's a little harder for Hatch to survive in that format because you can get swung on 4 times under Hatch's leader effect just by Unisons and the leader alone. That's a lot, and that's not even counting the 1 battle card you may put in there as well. So yeah, you really can't ignore how strong that mechanic is against Hatch. So Hatch could fail or succeed just depending on if you see more U7 or if you see more, you know, Cooler or Dripku. Just a thing. And then last but not least, we've got Finn. For the same reasons that Hatch may be in a little bit of a weird, tricky position, Finn may actually thrive. In a format with a whole bunch of Cooler, Finn gets to just have a Unison to turn on its effects every single turn. And that's actually going to put it into overdrive. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, Finn took my Unison, I'm just not going to play a Unison for another couple turns. Now, decks like Cooler and Dripku need to play their Unisons. They will generally always have on the field unless you kill it. So because of this, yeah, it's really easy to just start eating their Unisons and playing off of those effects that Finn is so known for. So Finn, every now and then, will have a great run depending on its matchups, but they could also have a really bad run not seeing decks that need Unisons on the board. With that being said, I can say right now that Black is in no way, shape, or form dying. Black is just no longer ignorant. And sometimes it can still get up to ignorant levels depending on the luck of the draw and if you let the momentum carry too far in the game. But Black is no longer able to just bulldoze through you because of cards like Thwarting being at 4, Fighting Against Fate being able to come down on top of Thwarting, on top of Super Saiyan God Trunks, on top of Leader Swing. Yeah, it's just kind of like that. So I just want to say, do not count Black out. Shifts in power didn't shift Black too much. Black is still very, very strong. Let me know if you guys like this sort of content. I had a lot of energy for this one. It's been a wild week, and I am on day 4 out of 7 work days in a row after coming off of a really good birthday week and a really terrible start to this week. So yeah, I should have known. I was taking so many L's last week, or so many W's last week, and I was bound to take some L's at the beginning of this week. But that being said, I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like the conclusion of the Shifts in Power Black series. I've been seeing some things on Facebook saying that I was the best analytical YouTuber, and I like that. But I want to be the best YouTuber for this game in general, so I'm going to be working on all different avenues to better myself for your viewing pleasure. Thank you guys. Like I said, if this is the video you decide to choose to be a part of the UniX family, comment down there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, notify yourself so you never miss a beat, and I'll call you out on the next episode because you are the reason why I'm able to be elevated to these points. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you the next time.